With today's increasing popularity on Comic-Cons, steampunk conventions, and costuming alike, I'm here today to show you how to properly thread your own sewing machine. That way you can start costuming on your own as well. When you start off with your sewing machine, make sure it's plugged in, but make sure your machine is off. We do not want it on while threading your machine. This is your feet. This is going to be your pressure foot. It works just like a gas pedal. Press lightly, it'll go. Press harder, it'll go faster. Make sure that is below, near the foot that you like. This top nozzle here normally makes your needle go up and down. Always make sure that it is turned towards you, not forcing it back this way. That will make the machine really hurt. This one here, your bottom knob, normally adjusts what thread you would like. That would be for another video. You really don't need to change your threads quite yet. Just keeping it on setting A or option 1 for a normal thread is fine. It is important to make sure that you have a needle in your machine. You can pick up a pack at any sewing machine store or Joann's. The backspace button here will make your machine sew backwards. This nozzle here is meant to change the size of your stitch. 4 being the longest, 3 being medium, 2 mean small. This knob here is the position of the needle. You want to keep it always in the center. You don't want your needle off to the side, to the right, or to the left. Keeping it right here in the center will be just fine. You don't need to worry about these options. Normally on the top of any sewing machine, or it might be a secondary knob, will be your tension. You can always fiddle with that and practice and see what kind of tension you need for whatever fabrics you're choosing. I've discovered linens and such like are alright on tension number 5. You just need to experiment and see how you feel. A good way of doing so is making sure the fabric is folded in half where it's the most elastic, elasticy, what I'm trying to say is, and you want to sew directly underneath it. Pull, do whatever you need to see whether the stitching will stay. If it snaps or you hear the stitching break, that means your tension is too hard. If you're seeing your stitching is uprising from the fabric, that means your stitching is too loose. Now, we're just going to start real quick on how to properly thread your machine. I recommend getting a good, durable, strong cotton thread. At the top of your machine will be a place to put your thread. Put the hole through in here. Make sure your thread is facing you. Now, normally every machine has little 1 through 7 steps on them to always have a reference to. And if your machine is not a Singer like mine, you can always look in your manual to see what steps are for you first. For me, my first step is to anchor it on the top, number 2. Wait for it to hear that snap. Now, 3, you go down into this crevice here. Follow it all the way down. Go up, back again right here at this little option. And at the top of the sewing machine, you'll see a little anchor where you need to make sure your thread anchors in. I'm hoping you guys can see that little metal anchor and my thread, how it was anchored in. And now you make sure your thread goes back down. And typically every sewing machine has a little anchor again to secure the thread by your needle. It's a little difficult to do it backwards, so I'm going to have to do this real quick. And hopefully you guys can see that. Sorry for the bad lighting. Now for the bobbin. At the bottom of my machine, I have a little compartment that I can flip down, Typically this piece is laying inside. You can easily pull it out. You can normally pull it out by using this little tab. This is like a secure way of making sure it's in. By pulling that, you can pull it out. On the other side, your bobbin will look like this. You want to take your pre-threaded bobbin. Make sure your thread is coming out from the bottom, not from the top, but from the bottom. Place like so into the bobbin. Snap it in. Reason being, we want it coming from the bottom is so it can go up into this little crevice area. There's a little tiny line. I'll try to be stable so you guys can see. It goes up into it, and you hear it snap. Now, take your bobbin, place it inside, press. Don't force though. You'll make sure, the only way to make sure your bobbin will go through, I'm hoping you guys can see, is if this is matched up. There has to be a little nook right here for that piece to go in. So I'll try to do it one more time so I can show you guys. Now it's in. Now that is complete, thread your needle, and you can always get your bobbin by turning this forward, and it will bring up your thread, and then you can start sewing your own personal garment. And that is how you start sewing for your own costumes or repairs. Thank you.